X-rated on the beat.
Buy this beat now. You know you like it.
You know, I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and I really came to this conclusion that this is, in fact, a possibility, and at the same time, it also could not happen at all. Now, we know we didn't get the starters for Diamond and Pearl for Legends Arceus. We are fully aware of that. But when you really think about it, we did have the ability to, in fact, catch them in the wild, much like, you know, their full evolutions, as a matter of fact. And with the concept that Legends ZA is going to actually have, you know, more megas, it raised a question. And probably the most convincing aspect of this is that even though the starters did not get mega evolutions, he still got one important factor that made him stand out from the rest of the starters in general. And that was Ash Greninja. Now, a lot of people don't remember how good Greninja was back in its time, or in its run with X and Y, as well as its Ash Greninja form in Pokemon Sun and Moon. And the biggest thing for me really was the whole concept.
Priority move on Greninja.
Ash Greninja is
So
a
I'm gonna
actual
go for the water shuriken
possibility.
here. He's definitely gonna die from
Because
that
when you
without
think
a
about it,
He did
obviously
decide to
Legends
switch out.
Arceus,
Pheromosa
Legends
definitely
Arceus
would
was
have got
open
pieced
world,
up
Scarlet and Violet was
real
open
quick
world,
by the
and
water
Pokemon
shuriken,
Legends
right?
ZA
So we out here
is
playing
open
Naruto Ultimate
world
Ninja
as
Storm
well,
3. I'm
which
out
means
here,
there's a high
Sasuke,
key
scarf
chance
swinging in
that
the
we're
air.
going
You know what I'm saying?
to
I got
be able to catch
unlock the
the
curse
call-out
seal.
starters and their
I'm just kidding.
evolutions, if not probably
But yeah,
get
I'm gonna
mega
turn into Ash
evolutions
Greninja.
for said
Again,
starters.
Ash Greninja
But
has
the
the
thing
special
about it
ability
is,
with water shuriken
what
to
would
always
make this
hit
such a
3
rare
times, and I
occurrence,
think they
right?
all do 60
Now
base
we
power.
know
So this Pheromosa
in
actually has no chance to
Pokemon
live this water
X and
shuriken.
Y,
So
Sun
once
and Moon,
again,
and
it's
Ultra
just
Sun
very
and Moon,
unfortunate
there's
that he
no
got so
actual
much
way
hacked
to get
against
Ash
him in this
Greninja,
battle.
at least
But I am going to take
specifically
him out
Ash
with the water
Greninja with
shuriken.
Battle Bond
Water
ability.
shuriken is a very, very strong move.
And we know in
Pheromosa
Scarlet
is
and
a very,
Violet it
very
got
weak,
nerfed pretty heavy.
physically,
So the thing about it really
defensively
is,
weak Pokemon. Not
what
physically, defensively
if
weak.
Legends
yeah,
ZA
that is
allowed us to catch Ash Greninja as a whole itself, in a sense of much how Scarlet and Violet have Pokemon that can I'm sorry, much like in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, we had the new format, and obviously with Sword and Shield we had Pokemon that could Dynamax, right? And we had Alpha Pokemon in Legends Arceus. In this particular case, now ride the wave with me here for a second. Imagine in the same sentiment where we find probably the strongest Pokemon in Legends Arceus, which, to the best of my knowledge, was Garchomp, because it was isolated by itself in the snow parts of the region, and the only way to get to it was to climb the mountain and obviously battle it for its, you know, for whatever, for having one of the strongest Pokemon in the game. Obviously, that's a thing. However, just like with Mega Evolution, instead of Mega Evolving, this Greninja in particular could Battle Bond itself. And ultimately, just like with the Apex Pokemon, you have obviously this Apex Ash Greninja, which would be probably the dominant Pokemon in that directed area. So if we do get a genuine, I want to say a genuine idea, right? Now, for those of you who don't remember Ash Greninja's run during the tournaments for 2016 and 17, Protein Ash Greninja was a busted Pokemon. There was like no stopping this guy, you know. And it was until it got banned in the tournaments that, you know, people just decided that Ash Greninja was like, okay, you gotta go. But the way I'm looking at it is simply this. Ash Greninja being an alpha Pokemon in Legends ZA, and considering we already have confirmation we're going to get Mega Evolutions from Legends ZA, I won't put it past Nintendo to say, okay, it's been a while since we included the X and Y starters in pretty much anything outside of Scarlet and Violet. And in a similar concept to Sword and Shield's DLC, where you could go into the Dynamax caverns and find, you know, Gigantamax or Dynamax Pokemon of various degree, the concept of having a, what would be, I mean, because technically Ash Greninja is the only Mega, even though technically it's not a Mega in X and Y, but it is a Mega classification. It is classified as a Mega on its own terms, depending on how you want to look at the circumstances. So when you really think about it, if we do, for example, and like I said, this is a 50-50 gig, and the only thing that's 100% is that we will get the Kalos starters open world-wise instead of overall catching them or using them as the genuine. So that kind of raises a question, and I'm like, we did get Ash Greninja in 2013, and we saw Ash Greninja in Sun and Moon, and we had regular Greninja in 2013. So it's possible Mega Chestnut and Mega Delphox could still be a possibility. But as for genuinely seeing Greninja, Delphox, and Chestnut in the open world part of the game itself is only thing that's confirmed, honestly. But I felt like Nintendo could make this happen, because you wouldn't have to essentially use a Mega Stone for Ash Greninja, and considering it is a Legends game, abilities don't exist. I'm assuming that they're not going to have abilities existing, so you wouldn't even need to have Greninja learn a certain move or have its happiness at a certain level. If anything, it'd probably be like one of those Pokemon you just gotta have, you know, a certain level acquired instead of just your standard evolution. And if it does in fact come down to a point where it's a post-game item that you unlock Battle Phenomenon, and then somehow somebody in the game gives you a Froakie, next thing you know, oh, there's something different about this Froakie, this, that, and third. Honestly, I would actually be okay with that, because if you actually look at the consensus behind Ash Greninja, it's all about the power of its bond with its trainer. And considering there's a lot of Pokemon that do evolve with a high friendship level, it would actually be a strong possibility that Ash Greninja would be the go-to for Pokemon Z and A. And again, obviously this is just an idea I just spitballed, and I literally was thinking about it because I was actually playing X and Y a little while ago, and I was just like, you know what if Ash Greninja had came to Z and A? Because I feel like, given that we had Megas revealed to us very early on in X and Y, and then on top of that, even before the third gym, you have technically half a team of Pokemon that are already capable of Mega Evolution.
So I'm
The Kanto starter you get from the Professor, the Mega Lucario you get from the third gym leader. So it's like, essentially,
real quick,
you really wouldn't even have to do very much in the sense of how far you're willing to take it, because I'm sure I speak for everybody when I say that Legends DNA is probably not going to be any more difficult than X and Y was, because when you really get down to the nitty-gritty, if you really played through X and Y, and for those of you who haven't, I do suggest you play it. It was the first time we got a title on the 3DS, and it was a phenomenal occasion. It was back in the day where Pokemon reveals came, and it was just like a wonderful event, just an overall wonderful event. And the fact that X and Y was revealed at E3 2013 as well, it was just phenomenal. But anyway, so the fact of it is, including Mega Delphox, Mega Chestnut, and essentially Mega Greninja, even though unlike most Megas differentiate from the core design of the Pokemon, Ash Greninja just has a larger shuriken, and obviously Ash's accents in his face, and then those accents are red and he has red eyes. Honestly, he's still technically a Mega Evolution, because normally you don't see Greninja, you see Greninja standing up straight in the anime, well, versus the video games you see it in a Naruto ninja pose. But I figured that would be something that Nintendo could probably pull it off, given that we have Battle Bond Greninja and Scarlet and Violet, but it's not Ash Greninja technically. And if they don't decide to take it way back in time like they did Legends Arceus, I don't imagine that, you know, I don't think the bond phenomenon won't be mentioned, but I also want to say it could be mentioned, given the fact that just like the anime, Ash's Greninja was mentioned multiple times by multiple characters for that matter, that Ash's Froakie and Frogadier were cut from the rest, like phenomenally cut above the rest, pun intended. So if we do see Legend ZA actually give us Mega Stones for each starter, and then you get a specific item that's designated for using Greninja, and like I said, instead of, if they don't showcase that Pokemon have abilities and stuff like that, it is a strong possibility that we might get Ash Greninja based off of a particular item. And since we never got to see any referred item to, or the aforementioned item for Ash during his time with his Ash Greninja, it's possible that we might just see it. And I feel like I'm comfortable with that, because like we still got what, another 6 months before the new year, and it's possible Legends ZNA is going to come out in between February and April, so it's quite the possibility that we're going to see that happening. And I am very hyped, even though we didn't see much, but I feel like we're going to see at least something. And according to the leaks on the internet, at least right now, it's a possibility we're going to get something else involving Legends ZNA in August. So, and that's another 28 days away. So I think I think we eat that much. I say we definitely gonna be eating off of this one.